my health journey, me getting fat as hell, because I got fat as hell. The stress that was causing me to, stress eat, gain weight. How it was affecting my money making as far as investing, trading, business decisions, just everything, right? When I was gaining weight and when I was stressed out and when I was, doing all these things, it definitely affected my trading.
I got Hitman on the beat. School out.
Secure the bag with 1017 Scoochie.
Scoochie.
Yeah, Puerto Rico, East Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well, Miami.
Go.
My money machine go beep, I love the sound that it make. Plus all the racks I'm count, I think that my machine bout to break. Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag. These private flights, Miami nice, these Gucci bags full of cash. So when Tay Sweat from Puerto Rico, we go hard for the cheese. It's all legit, we making grip, they think I'm still selling keys. I just Cartier my eyes.
Let's get it. So once again, we're gonna talk about, of course, overall health, my health journey, me getting fat as hell, because I got fat as hell. The stress that was causing me to, stress eat, gain weight, how it was affecting my money making as far as investing, trading, business decisions, just everything, right? When I was gaining weight and when I was stressed out and when I was, doing all these things, it definitely affected my trading. And that's why I want to talk about this, because a lot of you all, of course, we trade live. And some of y'all are trying to trade through shitty relationships. You're trying to trade through shitty mentality, shitty diets, shitty emotional states. And you finding yourself losing as you trade. You finding yourself making poor decisions physically, mentally, financially. Luckily, I had a wife, or, I was dating my current wife now. The divorce was, done, but I still owed all this money to my ex-wife. And so how it affected me, I was pissed. Anytime I'm pissed or I'm mad, I'm sad, whatever it is, I just want to feel good. And I know some of y'all like that too, right? I know some of y'all like that too. In fact, sex is not that fun when your back is big. That is a fact. That is a fact, all right? And so, that's right, through a postpartum, having an infant, And so, yeah, I stress eat. That's most of us stress eat. And the reason why, and there's a big reason hormonally. When you are sad, mad, disappointed, whatever, you want to be stimulated. You want that dopamine, right? And so certain foods produce a dopamine response, like a feel-good response, right? So that's the biggest one. You want that dopamine hit, you start eating. And so for me, I wanted three things, right? I wanted to feel good through food. I wanted to feel good physically. I was having big back sex. Right? My back was big, but I wanted to have, I was having fun with my wife. And so I'm like, look, me and Fee, we're gonna have some good food. We're gonna go out on good dates, have good food, have some good sex. And I just want to enjoy my toys. Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, I had all the stuff. I just wanted to enjoy it. I didn't care about much else. I was like, look, big back sex, that's right. So yeah, we were just enjoying the moment, right? We're enjoying the moment. And so, this shit ain't fun. Big back sex ain't fun. It's outlandish. For real. But that's the thing, and so, I encourage people, one, to, lose weight for health reasons, yes, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If y'all don't know this yet, you'll find out eventually. But sex is just better when your back is smaller. When your back is not as big. Let me just say that, right? So if you got big back, sex is not gonna be as fun as if you shrink that back a little, right? You bring that back in a little bit. So for me personally, like I told you, I mentioned a little while ago, I said, look, once I get back down to my fighting weight, which is 205, maybe even as low as 195. Because as I age, I don't want to be super bulky. I want to be more thin, more lean, trim, because it's just easier on the joints. I can still play basketball and age gracefully, right? But I also told y'all, when I get down to that fighting weight, that 195, 205, that's when I jump off the top rope on Queen Fee. Like that's when I turn up, right? Jumping off the top rope. And so that's right. Back flips off the dresser and shit. That's a real thing, Chris. A lot of people don't realize that. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it because I've yet to hear anybody say this on the podcast or anywhere, right? One of the biggest benefits, fellas, to unbigging your back is you gain penis points. I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. A lot of people don't know that. As somebody who's been skinny, I started skinny, I got fat, got very small again, got fat, and then I'm losing the weight again. You gain penis points. Yo shit look bigger because it ain't hiding under that fat. That is a fact. That is a fact. As a matter of fact, y'all can look it up. I think it's called the fat pad. And so you have what's called a fat pad, or what they coin as a fat pad that's right underneath your belly, right underneath your gut, right? And so as your gut grows, so does this fat pad. And the fat pad is literally like, if this is your penis, the fat pad right on top of your penis. And the bigger that fat pad grows, the more it hides your shit. It's the men's fupa, right? It's the men's fupa. That is a fact. The men's fupa, all right? So, Demisha said, my wife just said it was true. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I'm transparent. I don't really care. Like, I'll tell y'all all day, like, yes, when I was skinny, I'm looking meaty, right? I'm looking meaty. I walk in swinging. Hey, right? That's when you're most confident, right? As soon as I put on more and more fat, it starts hiding some of that meat, right? It hides it. And so it's not that it goes away. You have the potential. And one way, fellas, I'm giving game just for reasons on why you need to unbig your back. I'll give some to the men, I'll give some to the women, right? Might start an OnlyFans. Hey, we need some more money. It's a lot of there's a lot of deals out here in these stock market streets, man. I'm like, look, I'll start a little OnlyFans for y'all. But look, the more your belly sticks out, the more your fupa, your men's fupa grows, or what you call the fat pad. Okay. If your fat pad, you can literally, fellas, I'll tell you how you can feel it, right? Get an erection, right? We're gonna have this talk, right? Get an erection and move your scrotum to the side. And underneath your scrotum, the hard penis should run all the way to damn near your butthole, right? If you feel underneath your scrotum, you'll feel that erection is still way back there, right? And you'll feel like, it's like, shit, that's your penis still back there. It's just hidden underneath all of that fat that you done put on, right? It's hidden. And so I always encourage fellas, I'm like, hey, you want to get a little more lean, right? You definitely want to get a little more lean because that'll help, right? That'll help big time, right? Visually, and I don't know if y'all remember on Comic View. I'm probably gonna butcher the joke, but on Comic View there was a dude. He came up with a joke. I forget his name, but he was talking about. I think he called it like unlimited wee wee or something like that, right? And so he was like, if I had a wish, I wish I had like a crank. And so as the woman, if we having sex, if the woman asking for more, I just start uncranking that motherfucker and push more out. Right? Well, I'm saying this because that's essentially what you, as a fat man, a fatter man, the more fat you get down there, you actually have more to crank out. You just can't reach it because that fat is in the way. right? The fat is in the way. And so there's only so far you can push that fat in to get access to that additional wee-wee. Right? But no, there's only so much you can do to push that fat in. So the goal is to just lose it all. Right? Now, ladies, I think they'll be able to justify this, right? Stop setting yourself short. That's right. And so ladies, I think ladies can justify this because most women have been with both fat men and skinny men, right? And the only reason I know this to be true is because I've been both fat and skinny, right? And so, and so I think most women can attest and say, nah, like the skinny dudes got the, they got the hang time. They got they show. And it's like, it's just because they don't have any fat, right? Because when I was skinny, I had no fat. And literally I could see more, right? And so I'm trying to give my fellas more incentive to unbig your back and get your ass in the gym and start doing more. And we'll talk about ways to like eat and what you can do to like lose that weight as fast as possible, right? Because that's the same thing. That's one of my motivations. I want to start jumping off the fucking top shelf again, right? That's the real gains, fact. That's the real gains. So yeah, fasting, things like that. We'll get into some things that you can do. But that's what we do, right? That's the thing. Let's see, without loose skin, right? Yeah, there's ways to do it. Because I've been as big as 320 pounds and yeah, I don't have any loose skin. So yeah, there's a way to do it. Some of the women like, oh, she like, oh, wait a minute, is that what that was? Yes, it's not a thing. Don't get me wrong. Every man is gonna come, with his different sizes and whatnot. But yes, you do yourself a disservice the more weight you put on. And the same thing happens to the women. Same thing happens. That's why I was going over to the women, right? The same thing happens to the women, right? I appreciate you, Andre. So I'm gonna go ahead and call some women out. Right? I'm gonna call y'all out. Okay. Anytime, I rarely, let me see. Yeah, I've dated a good amount of women, but not only that, like I've worked, like majority of my clients were women. And so I've heard every story from the back to the front. Like I've heard every, like working with 15,000 women over my career. I done heard it all for the most part, right? We used to have these conversations like this because as a trainer, as a nutritionist, and really as a holistic nutritionist, I'm a holistic practitioner. Like I get all the way in there, right? Especially with my ladies, with the women, I get all the way in there because if you could tell me what's going on down there, I could tell you what's going on everywhere, right? Like, because it's all connected, holistic. And so I can even tell you what's going on internally or what's going on with your physical body or your biology based on your desire for the length or the size of a man that you may want. All right, I know this sounds weird. I know it's like, wait a minute. Okay. What's good, Kylan? Now, my skinniest women or my women who are in, decent shape, right? These women, their desired sizes would range. Like, oh, I'm cool with, if you know how to work it, you give me, 6 inches, 7 inches, that's great. Like, that's perfect, right? Some of them might have went as high as 8, 9. But rarely did I hear smaller women go 9, 10, 11, 12. I need a foot long, right? Rarely did I hear that. Now, I'm saying this for a reason. For the same man's fupa What I noticed was the women who were like, no, I need King Kong, foot long, 12 inches, 13 inches, 15 inches. Like, I'm like, that's insane for you to require that. Let's break that down. Because now I start going in and I'm like, okay, got it. Those women who were saying it, as we analyzed their blood pressure, I used to take your blood pressure cuff. I would do a blood pressure monitor. I would then take your urine sample. I would then take, there's a few other like tests that I would do, right? There you go, the thick ones, right? Them thick ones. And what I realized is that on average, every now and then you had a skinny woman who was just like, yeah, put this damn mason jar. Put the mason jar in there, right? Don't get me wrong. Every now and then it was a skinny woman who would do that. But what I noticed was the overweight women who had, once I measured your waist, the fupa was 4 to 7, maybe even 8 inches bigger than it needed to be, right? Like out from your actual abdomen. And so what I noticed was these women were requesting these weights or these sizes because you needed an additional 4 to 6 inches just to hit the vagina like open, right? And so what I was noticing, I was like, no, that makes sense. Like, because if you got 10, 12 inches on a man and you got 4 inches of fupa that won't smash in, then you only get 8 inches on a 12-inch man. Right? I mean, we just keeping it real. And so that was what I was noticing. I was like, damn, that makes sense. I was like, huh. Because the average vagina depth of a vagina was like, I think it's like 3.6 inches, maybe 4, right? So I was like, that makes sense. I was like, damn. So if I'm like, okay, all of this makes sense. And I'm like, okay. And when I teach my one-on-one, so Ro, Kyler, right? We went over this on the golden ratios and things like that. And all humans are governed by this ratio, right? And so now we're getting ready to mix trading and everything else in the world. And so what was happening was that I could break down and show you that the woman's depth of a vagina, she desired the golden ratio. She desired the golden ratio. That's it. So when you ask, and the reason why I was taking all of these statistics down is because I was finding out I could tell based on what you require as far as inches, I could tell how deep your vagina was, right? And so the golden ratio is what women desire, even though they don't know that that's what they're desiring. It's all in nature, right? We're not going to go too deep into that. My one-on-ones, we go through that, but we won't go too deep into it. But anyway, if you multiply the average woman's vagina, the depth of her vagina, you multiply it by the golden ratio, you will get your average man's penis size every time. So if she's 3.6 inches deep, right, then you're going to get things like 5.8 inches for a man's penis using the golden ratio, right? And so Brandon said, Tay out here measuring coochie with fibs. That's right. So, yeah. And so I always tell y'all when I say that stock trading, relationships, sex, the universe, it all goes hand in hand. So when people are like, you a stock trader, why are you talking about sex? And why are you talking about relationships? I'm like, you have no idea that it all goes hand in hand. The same thing that makes me a good husband is what makes me a good trader. The same thing that makes me a good trader is what makes me a good man, right? And so it all goes hand in hand. It's all about numbers. I'm a numbers guy. Right? So with that being said, That's right. It's golden for a reason, right? So with that being said, you can see everything, and I'll just say this: it's everywhere. It's in the face, right? We idealistically look at women or people who are more handsome or beautiful have the perfect golden ratios. Like the eyes are the perfect ratio to the nose is the perfect ratio to the mouth, and it's all etched out in golden ratios. It's all etched out in golden ratios, the Fibonacci sequence, right? And so the 1618, we won't go too deep into it, but anyway, there you go, Ian. Yeah, there you go. Because the average woman's size is, so we getting to work now. We gonna get to work now, all right? And so if the average woman's size is, let's say, I don't know, 52 inches. Let's see something real quick. I do this with my one-on-ones all the time. We'll go in, we'll look at average, depth of vagina, average penis size, so I could teach the ratio, right? So 5'3" okay? It's 5'3" across the world, across the country, is about, so 5'3.5", 5'4". We'll say that, 5'4", okay? So 5'4", that's what, how many inches is that? So 64, no, it's not 64 inches, that's not right. Somebody quote me on that. Or I do think it's 64. Yeah, I think it's 64 off the top of my head. So I think it's 64 inches. Okay, so let me pull out my calculator. That's already, okay, I got you. So 64 inches. I do this all the time, right? I'm looking for like heights. I'm looking for golden ratios in the face. And so, but they show you the facial, it's everywhere, right? So we won't go too deep into that. Let's go back to the chart, all right? We won't go too deep into that. But ultimately, that's what we do, right? This is the thing. So we're always looking for these things, right? We're always looking for these congruencies. And so once again, unbigging your back helps you out in a big way, right? It's going to make for better sex. It's going to make for better health. It's going to make for better, for a lot of y'all, confidence, like your confidence. This is what y'all talking about over here. Let's see who all just joined. We're talking about dick and pussy. Just another day in STB. That's right. You know how we do. All right. You know how we do. But yeah, so this is what, I'm always looking at. I'm always looking at all these things. So getting back to the story about losing the weight and wanting to lose the weight, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I need to lose this weight because number one, it's not healthy. Right? It's not healthy. But number two, it's not healthy for me to be 280. I just say. And even at 6'3", 280 is just not, it's not conducive to health. Right? It's just not. Right? Not at all. One thing I would say is when I'm seeing anybody at 250, 280, 300, I'm like, we got to get that down because I care. Not because I'm body shaming or because I'm making you feel less than a person. It's because we need to get it down because we care. That's it. And in this time that we sitting in, especially, and I'm not here to really talk about anybody outside of myself, right? But what I will say, if 280 pounds for me at 6'3" is too much weight, then 280 for any fucking woman is definitely unacceptable. And so that's why I would say we got to do what we can to get this weight, right? And I say that because I know a lot of women that are 250, 260, 280, 220. It's unacceptable. We got to get that weight down. We got to, right? This is not about competition or I'm not trying to win any popularity points with this. I'm trying to be nice and say like I care. We got to get this healthy, right? We got to get this healthy. That's right. They brag about it. It's nothing. Take Care's Future and Drake. That's right. So we got to get it down, right? Got to get it down. They lie and say it's okay because you're tall, right? No, it's not. It's not. None of this is body shaming. We're going through my particular case, so you can, I can make sense out of it. So that's why I say, anything over like 210, 220 most of the time for anybody, it's a lot. I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot. If you super muscular, I get it. That's a different. That's a different. But there is no such thing as that's right. There's no such thing as big bone. If we go do an X-ray on you, your bones ain't much bigger than the average person, right? Not 60 more pounds bigger, right? Number one. Number two, the big bone thing that we've been sold in our community, because it's only I've never heard a white person say big bone, ever. It's weird. I think this is something that's been perpetuated in our community, right? And so when somebody says, I'm big bone though, that's why if I go over and slap your fucking gut, that motherfucker get to doing this, that ain't a bone, right? That's not a bone. And so once again, we gotta do something about this, okay? We gotta do something about this. Like if I smack your arms, right, and that motherfucker get to doing this, goddamn break dancing and shit, that's not a bone, baby. It's not a bone, okay? That's not a bone. It's not a bone, okay? So, please, we gotta stop saying that, okay? We gotta stop saying it. All right? So, finishing my story and then getting to some solutions so that I can help the people who actually want help. So I got up to 280, right? I got up to 280. Same thing. No matter how much I wanted to say I was big bone, if you smack my belly, that motherfucker break dance, right? Cool, unacceptable. Got to get that down, right? Subcutaneous fat is the one that moves. The visceral fat, which is the most dangerous fat, is the one that you hit and it's solid. That fat, got to get rid of it for sure. That's the unhealthy fat, right? And so what we have to do is, or what I had to do is realize, okay, this is unacceptable. How did I get here? And then let's reverse engineer it. And so I realized how I got there. I was in a less than desirable emotional state. That's what it was. And I wanted to escape that emotional state. How did I escape it? Through food, okay? Sugar is associated with love. This is how, during holidays, especially like Valentine's Day, what do you get your sweetheart? Sweetheart, right? You love her, so she's your sweetheart. What do you get for your sweetheart? Chocolate, right? Or sugar. Sweet, right? Salt, that's right, Andre, that's right. Salt is involved with anger. That's right. So when you're mad at somebody, you find yourself craving salty things. Well, a lot of times when you're mad at somebody, you're also nervous because the thought of you being angry with someone also pushes you into ideas of what you want to do to them, right? So you're angry, so now you're like, I'm finna fight this person, or I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z. But then you're like, I got too much to lose. If I do that, I might go to jail, yada, yada, yada. So you start getting nervous, right? You get this nervous energy about you, so you start biting your nails. Nervousness is associated with crunchy stuff. And so you're mad, and now you're nervous, and so you find yourself eating potato chips because they're salty and crunchy, right? And so you're doing anything that's salty and crunchy, pretzels, potato chips, et cetera, right? Cashews, that's right, lightly salted, like all of these things that are crunchy and salty, you find yourself craving those, right? And so, Misha said, I've been a nerve biter most of my life. Yeah, and you know why? And so, I won't give you a full-on assessment while we're on this live, but most nail biters who have been doing it for majority of their life, you had some you have some reason why, since you were like a child, like, and when I mean a child, it could have been like baby, right? You have a reason, like your parents or the environment you were raised in, it gave you nervous energy. Like, am I really loved? Should I really be here? Do they really want me? And that shit go back to it. And I know some of y'all might not think this, but it goes back because babies remember since they were in the womb. It's in our DNA. And so you might have came out and maybe, I don't know, maybe your mom was on her way to, to the hospital when you were coming out as a baby, and maybe she tried to push you back in until she got to the hospital, right? When children go through that, where they trying to come out and the mom push his head back in, a lot of times that the baby's like, damn, do you not want me? You trying to tell me to stay in here? What's up with that? That creates nervous energy. That creates trauma in a child, right? So I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but that's part of. So if you've been biting your nails since you were younger, that could be that childhood trauma. Single mom, drill sergeant in the military. Yeah. So there you go. That's it, Demetri. Yeah, that's it. That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Let's see. I love joining the STD calls doing fast. It makes me never want to eat. Job well done. That's right. So yeah, that's it. That's it. So see, I helped someone get their abs with one switch. They were eating right, working out for years, didn't get abs to pop. So we switched protein bars to a banana. That's literally it. Less than a week, bam, abs. Yeah. Everybody's different. Influence will have you believe you follow them and you will reach their goals and status. Yep. Everyone is different. People different. Yeah. It was a female. So hard for females to lose body fat. Yeah, that is a fact. Because there's nature-wise, there's reasons in nature why women are supposed to have a little bit more body fat on their body than men. So adrenals overproduction as well. Adrenals, cortisols, overload, you're stressed. And the stress, we ain't gonna get into all the cortisol and all that stuff, but there's so many stressors in people's lives. And then some women are too, how can I say this? Some women stress over some of the smallest shit, right? It's like, baby, relax, right? But those cortisol, that creates cortisol production, and that's never, overproduction of cortisol is never a good thing. So, especially for aesthetics. Let's see, I started my journey, me feel better already. There we go, Draina, love it. Let's see, it's too good today. I gotta run it home. All good, Sam. You enjoy your day, fam. Enjoy your day. You can think yourself to be sick. Yep. These are definitely things that I had to assess for myself, right? And so one of the things I did was, I'm super busy. I'm doing classes. I'm doing all of this stuff, right? And one of the things I needed to do is make sure I was just walking more. And so I bought a treadmill desk. Now I'm waiting on my damn treadmill to get here because I had to order another one for this property. I got one at the other property. I need another one for this property, but they're on back order until May. So it should be here this month coming up, hopefully. But anyway, the treadmill desk was a big game changer for me because while I'm doing these lives, while I'm, we live trading, we're doing, podcasts, whatever, I could easily burn 3,000 calories, easy. 3,000 calories was easy. While I was on the class, or while I'm teaching, or while I'm going through charts, or while I'm, whatever. And so that was a very good thing to help me, right? That's right, 2 birds with 1 stone, right? And so that helped big time. Number 2, the big thing, and these are just little solutions that work for me. So I was at 280, I'm down to about 225-ish. My goal is to get back to 200, maybe even 195, right? Because that's, as I age, I think that's a good area for me to be. I'll still be somewhat muscular, right? But I'll be leaner, so it's better for my joints, right? That's the number one thing I'm focused on, make sure my knees and everything is on point. The worst thing you can do, like, oh, I got these old knees. My knees are horrible. Yeah, because literally, I used to tell my older not patients, but my older clients back in the day when I was a trainer, and because I also did physical therapy. I was like, look, your knees are not bad. It's just a simple fact that every time you got to go sit down on the toilet, that we just stopped talking about regular stuff. Every time you have to sit on the toilet, sit on the couch, sit on the bed, sit on the bus, sit in the car, wherever you're going to sit, if you weigh 200-300 pounds, think about you being the weight that you should be, 150, 160, 180, right? 180 if you're over 5'10", ladies, right? I used to have to tell my women, no wonder your fucking knees hurt. Because think about you being 180, 150, 160, and then me putting a 200-pound dumbbell on your back. And that is what you got to sit on the toilet with and stand up every day. Every day you sit on the toilet, you got to put a 225-pound dumbbell on your back or a 150-pound dumbbell on your back, right? Whatever that looks like. I'd be hurting too. Because every time I got to go sit on the toilet, here's 200 pounds. Here's 100 pounds extra that my body, my joints were not made for. Right? And that's why you have the little handrails in the bathroom, like the public bathroom. There's a lot of times why you have those damn handrails. It's so you can sit down, because a lot of people have lost the ability to just squat down and stand up, without assistance. Why? Because their muscles have atrophied for the most part, and they're too heavy. So yeah, man, it all comes back to the point of saying, look, there's reasons why we got to do this. Right? Reasons why we got to get this weight off. Okay, including me. I'm with y'all. Like, I feel like I qualify to have this conversation and keep it real because I'm going through it with you. Right? I'm unbig in my back as we speak. Okay, I'm going through it with you because I've been in STD. I have been getting back on the right track with my plant-based eating, learning all the health facts. Here makes you want to get right with your health. That's it. Because we making all, we getting all of this money out of the stock market. You got to stay alive now to enjoy it. So that's what I'm trying to, we got to talk about. What was the name of the YouTube channel, Bulletproofing Knees? Oh, you're talking about Knees Over Toes guy. I do like him. So he talks about walking backwards or walking on the treadmill backwards or walking backwards with a sled. These things help your knees big time. Knees over toe lunges, slowly progressing on that. Those big time help. Let's see, let me watch my grandma go through daily pain because of this exact thing. She's really overweight, so she's in constant pain. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. A lot of stress on the organs. Yep, absolutely. Proud of you, Ian. Keep doing your thing. Let's see. I ain't gonna lie. I started doing my push-ups over this podcast. There we go. Love it. So yeah, speaking of the charts, the sellers are stepping in. Money should be coming on in. Let's make this money, man. I do think we're gonna get these sellers to show up pretty soon, even more than they already are. So definitely looking good on this chart. But yeah, this is definitely a big part of what made me want to lose the weight and get things going. Outside of the vanity of my penis and all this other stuff, I wanted to just have my health back in order and have the weight down, right? Getting your penis back in order is definitely like a plus, right? And so, that 40, plus pounds that I dropped from 280, getting back down, really is at this point is 55. So that 55 pounds that I dropped from 280, big difference. My body composition is different too, so I'm not as sloppy as I look. So when I take my shirt off, I look more, lean. You can see it. Striations in my shoulders are coming back. So I'm more muscular and more trim than I was when I was losing weight at At first, it was just slop. Slop over muscles. I did have muscle before I gained it. So definitely getting back down. It's big priority of mine. So yeah, man. We definitely getting down. Let's see. Still amazing how small we did get. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, I definitely I had to show y'all a picture, man. I got a picture somewhere, me at my smallest. And yeah, I was very lean, veins everywhere. Damn, face was sunken in. And so I don't know if I'll get back that small, but I do want to get lean. I do want to get really lean. Just to help the aging process. That's it. For me, I'll be 43 this year, and I haven't been at my current 185 weight since I was 30. Feels great. Oh, you said, okay, yeah. Good. So, yeah, definitely keep it up, fam. Keep it up. Let's see. I see them in their early 70s trying to die because their health was so bad. That's what it's about, man. Yes. Aging gracefully to the point where you're not suffering. Because, some people are like, oh, my grandma lived to 100 years old. It's like, but was she suffering though? Because most of the time they suffer. They got dementia and Alzheimer's. And people don't know that. That's an insulin resistance issue. You get Alzheimer's and dementia because you've been eating too much sugar, too many carbs. Your body can't process it, right? So you losing your mind, and and so it sounds morbid as hell. So don't take me wrong when I say this, but you ask your grandma who has some type of dementia, memory loss, or Alzheimer's, and like, oh, how's your life, grandma? You living good, and I know you're 100 years old. You eating what you want. How you living? She don't remember. She don't remember what she. That's right, type 3 diabetes. She don't remember. How you life? Oh, I feel great. Why can she say that? Well, because she don't remember how she used to feel. She can't remember. I know that sounds bad, but it's a real thing. Dementia patients and Alzheimer's, they can't remember. Like, right? So yeah, she feel great right now because she don't know what great felt like. So I'm like, shit. Yeah, it's kind of cool because you just forget everything. It's like, but is it? You know what I mean? So yeah, making sure everything is on point, man. Making sure things on point. Let's see. She's 80 plus, so he's right. Yeah. Let's see. My grandma lived near the 101 garden, pulled weeds almost every time. Last year was the hardest when she died peacefully in bed. Yeah, Gigi. I love that she was active and doing what she wanted to do. Yeah. That's what the life should be like, right? They do not warn you there about the aging process. No, at all. Not at all. Let's see. It was her choice. She told her she was tired. Never her body slowed down. Yeah. I do think you have the ability to do that, by the way. Both of my grandmas had died in the late 90s. Cussing us the fuck out and wouldn't remember who we were. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how my grandma went. She was losing her memory and everything. And I watched her eat. Every day she was gonna have a Pepsi. Every day she had a Pepsi since she was like 50. Every day, Pepsi and Milky Way. She used to have a little fun-sized Milky Ways or Snickers every day. And yeah, I watched that sugar disintegrate her. Luckily, she was doing all of the older stuff. Like the older folks used to do like the watermelon before the cookout and the pickled cucumbers. You know what I mean? Like they used to do that stuff all the time. The pickled beets. So they'd eat that before they eat the bullshit. And so I think, honestly, all of that time of building up, eating those healthy things like that, I think that stuff, the fermented stuff helped build a really strong gut. So even though she was eating all this bullshit, she had a strong gut over her lifetime. And so it was harder to break her down. That's my theory. I could be wrong. But see, these are the conversations, like I said, we can have, and people are weird. They're like, why are you having these conversations? You're a stock trader. I'm like, oh, well, I'm actually certified and been certified. I've been doing this for years. I'm just retired. people try to put you in a box. And I'm like, no, we can still have these conversations. I'm actually a professional at this. So yeah, I remember being little, maybe 7 or 8, my uncle would bring cannabis trimmers to my grandmother, and she could bottle them up with alcohol. Regular drinks and take tinctures. She never drink or smoke. She still eats. Yeah, drinking and smoking definitely is a big thing. That's right. Don't put me in a box, damn it. See, I was raised watching my grandmother, great aunts and uncles live right off the farm, and they were moving well into their late 80s. Yeah, that's the goal. Moving well, being healthy, being pain-free, or as pain-free as possible. Right? It was a good balance. I went into the city. I'm sitting on smokes. I mean, it's tough to get deep into, the particulars. First of all, the smoking it's not gonna help you. Yeah, that's what I'll say. It's a better question that you could ask. 1, but 2, when we sitting here with 200 people here, it's tough for me to focus on one person. That's why I usually don't do that. Because I remember even being able to read your palm, read your face to tell you what's going on internally. It's a holistic way of identifying issues in the body. And every time I say I do it, everybody go. I remember at the live event, I was talking about that, and everybody put their hand up. Read me. So I always try to do like, okay, we're gonna do a generalized thing, and we'll stay away from the personalized stuff. We'll say that. But yeah, a whole bunch of hands came out. Read my hand. I was like, hey. Finishing up my story and just kind of what I'm doing and what some of the healthier things that I've seen happen. Number 1, up your quality food, right? One of the things I try to focus on is eating food in as close as possible to its actual natural state, right? So watermelon, if you juice it down, you're left with a lot of juice and a very small amount of pulp. That's about as far as I want to go with that watermelon phase. But if I start getting into watermelon sodas, where there's sugar added, there's all this other BS, right? I want to keep it as close as possible to watermelon, right? Close as possible to watermelon. I don't want anything added to it. If there's a bean or there's rice or whatever, I want to find as close as possible to it, right? And I don't want to add too much to that. Avocado, I'm trying to stay right there. As much as I'm willing to do on that is maybe add a few, spices, a little salt to the avocado. Maybe I'll, turn it into some guacamole, but I want to keep it as close as possible to the real thing, what it looks like in nature. Right? But what I noticed, what happens with a lot of people, I love my guac too. Yeah. What happens with a lot of people is that we start going deep down into the processing thing, right? The processing plant. And so I remember Dr. Africa used to say this, and this is profound, right? This is profound. This is what got me to stick to my game. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm out, right? He used to say, either you're gonna process your food or a factory will process it. But no matter what, after the processing takes place, you're left with shit. And I was like, wait a minute. He's like, yeah, after you process the food, it's waste. It's poop. Your body just poops it out. It's just shit left over. He says, so you need to look and see, are you eating something that's already been processed? If so, you're eating shit. And I was like, yo, I was like, good God.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Blew my mind. I was like, damn, okay. That's kind of like my mic drop for the day. But yes, if you didn't process it, if your body didn't process it and poop it out, then whoever processed it, you're left with the poop. And that's what you eat. Right? And I know it's like a weird way of saying it, but think about it. Literally think about it. So try to eat things most, close to their natural state. Try to move 30 minutes to an hour 3 times a week. That's definitely been helpful for me. Sleep. Try to get you some good sleep. At least 7-8 hours a night. Drink plenty of water, stay hydrated. Ultimately, man, like, get a hobby. I always tell people, get a hobby. Something that's helpful, right? Something that's helpful. And 3 times a week is kind of like a minimum type. Like, I'm giving very generalized things. I work out 5-6 times a week, right? But very generalized. Yeah, very generalized, because a lot of people, 3 times a week for some people is already hard to do. So if you're going from 0 to 3 times a week, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So these are just generalized things. But I personally work out 6-7 times a week. Personally, I eat very heavy fruit-based diet, including, other traditional vegetables that you thought were vegetables but are actually fruits, cucumbers, tomatoes, etc. I do my best to get as much sleep as I can. And then I do other stuff like getting your oxygen, grounding, get your feet in some dirt, some grass, some sand, right? Get your grounding on. Like I said, get your sun, get your oxygen. So you get these few things together, get you a good routine going, it can definitely help, right? It can definitely help. And so, yeah, family, that's how we secure the bag in this world, in this life. Securing the bag is bigger than just securing the money, getting the money. It's about getting your health, getting your relationships, getting your wealth, all of that stuff together, right? The way I do it, of course, I do it through hedging, right? I hedge everything in life. I mean, everything, right? And so that's why we always keep the Hey Big Head going, because I want you to keep the Hey Big Head going in life, right? So hedge your life. If something's not working for you, find another thing, another alternative that will work for you. All right. Other than that, I love y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here because I got a few meetings that I gotta knock out. Let's keep watching these charts, or I'll keep watching these charts on the backside, while we're off the live. I'll let y'all know if I see something crazy. All right. Till next time. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
I got Hitman on the beat. School out.
Secure the bag with 1017 Scoochie.
Scoochie.
Yeah, Puerto Rico, East Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well, Miami.
Go.
My money machine go beep, I love the sound that it make. Plus all the racks I'm count, I think that my machine bout to break. Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag. These private flights, Miami nice, these Gucci bags full of cash. So when Tay Sweat from Puerto Rico, we go hard for the cheese. It's all legit, we making grip, they think I'm still selling keys. I just Cartier my eyes, cost 5 G's.